So in my last video, we talked about how the most powerful way to rewire your brain is to show, not tell. Don't just tell yourself to do something. Give yourself structured mini reps in low stakes situations and show your brain that what you want to do is safe and effective. Now, what happens when you actually do the thing and you're immediately flooded with worry, regret, and adrenaline? Here are my 4 tips for you. Tip number 1, build time into your schedule for feeling bad. You just did something that your automatic brain thinks is dangerous. You did it in a small, low-stakes way, but of course, it might still feel bad. Don't set the expectation that you will feel amazing and there will be no bumps in the road. And don't tell yourself that you shouldn't be feeling this way, which only doubles your pain because now you're feeling bad and feeling bad about feeling bad. Instead, I want you to proactively expect that you will feel uncomfortable and block out time in your schedule to let the adrenaline run through your system. If you've never gone on a run before, and then you run 2 miles in one day, you would expect your muscles to be sore, and you would block out the next day or more for rest and recovery. The exact same principle applies here. Tip number 2, get the wiggles out. So if you're feeling intensely worried or bad, don't even try to change your thinking. First, just let the emotion move through you without trying to change it. Don't stand at the door of your mental house and block the feeling from entering with all of your might. The harder you push at the door, the harder the feeling pushes back, trying to get in. Instead, let the feeling in. Let it rush in, peak, and recede. You know when you stub your toe on something and you feel a rush of pain, it peaks, and then it recedes? Feeling and emotion is the same way. Let it in, let it peak, and let it recede. All while you just watch. You can do this while you take deep breaths and sit quietly, letting all the sensations wash over you and hearing all the thoughts that come with it as a neutral observer. Or, and this is my preferred method, you can do this while you jump around, do aerobic dance moves, and get the wiggles out, just like an overactive little kid. Tip number 3, once you've taken the edge off, start to adjust your thinking. Here are some thought suggestions. You can go and tell someone else why what you did is right. You might get some reassurance for them, which is nice, but more importantly, you'll hear yourself say your own reasoning out loud. You are your own most important audience here. Another thing you can do, remind yourself that you are going to feel uncomfortable either way. Speaking up and doing what you think is right is uncomfortable. Not speaking up and squashing yourself into a box is also uncomfortable. So the discomfort you're feeling isn't a sign that you did something wrong. You are going to feel it either way, just in a slightly different flavor. And at least this time, you are uncomfortable in a productive direction, in service of doing what you think is right, rather than being uncomfortable in an unproductive direction, in service of doing what you think you should do, but don't actually want to do. And finally, give yourself a pat on the back. The first rep is the hardest. You're right in the middle of the hardest part. It's only going to get easier from here. And you took the first step. Great job, you. The discomfort is a sign that you did something right. just like sore muscles are a sign that you had a good workout. And finally, tip number 4, give yourself a set number of reps before reevaluating. The first few reps are when you will feel the worst and when you will have the least data. Feeling bad plus scant data equals the worst time to make changes. So give yourself at least 10 reps before you decide to do anything differently. The first time I sent an email newsletter to a few friends, I felt panicky for a day and a half. By the time I sent my 10th or 20th newsletter, it was just a normal part of my day. The day that I launched my business publicly online, I was so stressed that I canceled my evening plans and lay in bed for 12 hours. Within a few weeks, posting online became second nature to me. The first time that I told someone I'm a life coach, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. After I'd said it 30 times to 30 people, I started looking forward to their questions, and I knew exactly how to answer them. What feels incredibly uncomfortable at first can become easy and fun by the time you've done it a dozen times. So let your nerves settle themselves and let the data roll in before you decide to do anything differently. Now, guys, the kind of coaching that we do here is not the kind of simple, take a deep breath and think happy thoughts coaching. Between my last video and this one, I have given you a simple, doable, step-by-step plan to systematically expand your comfort zone and grow your ability to do what you think is right, while still taking care of yourself and not burning out. A plan like this doesn't solve 100% of your problems automatically on its own, but it does get you started and give you a baseline against which you can troubleshoot and problem solve until you have solved 100% of your problems. So if you want me to help you make and follow through on plans like this one with help and support every step of the way, then I want you to go to the description and click the link to book a free consult for one-on-one coaching. And if you want the absolute best ready-to-go plans and formulas to get you started immediately, and my coaching support on tap to help you apply everything, troubleshoot, and follow through, and a cohort of peers going through the same things that you are so you can learn from them and lean on them, then I want you to go to the description and click the link to join the waitlist for my 2023 course and coaching program. It's called From Imposter to I Got This, the high stress, high achievers step-by-step guide to eliminate work stress and imposter syndrome, get clear and get moving on the next step in their careers, and create a life that they love living. And by the way, if you're confused about anything I said, if you have any follow-up questions, you can go ahead and leave me a comment. You never know, it might become the subject of my next video.